Okay, I kind of want this video to reach New York City people because if you're not from New York City, I kind of feel like you're just gonna call this video racist when it's not. I also would like everybody to join in my comments, but I kind of want American Black people point of views on this. Like, if you're Black, have you ever known another Black person who cosplayed an ethnicity that they were not a part of, or cosplayed a culture, same thing, ethnicity, culture that they were not a part of? So basically, we're all used to people calling, white people and Hispanic people or Latin people, whatever you like to call them, culture vultures for doing whatever. But growing up, I have seen like Black people cosplay ethnicities, and let me just start with story time. So for one, does everybody remember when the song, excuse me, when the Sean Paul song Give Me the Light" dropped? Okay, when that song dropped, especially in New York City, that shit was huge. Just give me the light and pass the drum. Busting out the bottle of mo. When that song dropped, all of a sudden everybody was Jamaican, right? And of course, it's easy. Jamaicans come with all colors and everything. So there's Jamaicans who look like me, there's Jamaicans who look Black, whatever. So it's easy for anyone to say they're Jamaican. Where I lived, I just remember like a big handful of American Black people coming out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden they were Jamaican. One day I go to this nail salon, right? And this girl I knew, she was like my friend. We wasn't that close, but she was like a good associate of mine. Like, I've been to her house before, we hung out. Her sister worked in this nail salon, so I'm like, oh, hey, whatever. So I hear her speaking with this like Jamaican accent. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were Jamaican. It's very easy. It's very easy to imitate a Jamaican accent. So she's speaking in Patois. Well, it wasn't even like correct Patois, but she was using the accent. And then I remember she put these slippers on, and she was like, oh, good thing me bring my old slippers because of whatever. So I'm like, oh, you're Jamaican? I don't know. She was like, yeah, I'm Jamaican, man, whatever. So I think like a week later, I go to my friend's house and we talking, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know y'all was Jamaican. And she was like, who told you we was Jamaican? I'm like, I saw your sister at the nail salon and she was saying she's Jamaican. My friend called her other sister in the living room. She was like, come here. She was like, tell my sister what you just told me. So I repeated it, and they started laughing, and they was like, we're not Jamaican. She's lying. She tells everybody she's Jamaican and she's not. I'm like, y'all, why I actually believed it though. Then when I was really young, I would say about 14, 15, there was this girl who lived in the building next to mine. She was Black, but she used to say she was half Puerto Rican. I'm not saying that there's no dark Puerto Ricans or anything, but when you come from a certain ethnicity, you know your people. You know what I mean? So her whole entire personality was about being half Puerto Rican. She wasn't that dark skinned, but she was not light skinned either. She was like 3 or 4 shades darker than me. Probably dark. Some people would consider her dark skinned. I don't think she was that dark, but people would consider her dark skinned. But anyway, her whole personality was about being half Puerto Rican, only dating Spanish guys, Latin, Hispanic guys, and thinking every black boy she ever saw was ugly. Like, growing up, I only liked Black guys, and every time I pointed out a Black guy, like, oh, he's cute, she'd be like, oh no, he's ugly, whatever. No matter what we spoke about, she found a way to bring up the fact that she was half Puerto Rican. But if you seen her, you wouldn't pick that up. You would think like, okay, she's Black or whatever, but she had to let it be known. So one day her father comes to visit her. This is my first time seeing him, and he's Black. But he was just my complexion. But like I said, I know y'all gonna be like, oh, but there's Black Puerto. I know my people. I'm half Puerto Rican. So I felt like because he was a little bit lighter skinned, well, he wasn't my complexion, maybe like a shade or 2 shades darker. She thought she could just lie and be like, oh, I'm half Puerto Rican. And then one day somebody asked her sister, like, oh, yeah, I have Puerto Rican. Her sister was looking like, what are you talking about? Like, no, we're not. But she never answered. She just was like, what? And then not to mention, she would date anything that was Hispanic, Latin. Like, they could be hideous. And she thought they were so cute. They could look like a turtle, a monster. Oh, she was dating this one little Puerto Rican boy that looked like a broomstick. And I'm like, how do you think he's cute? And it was just because he was Puerto Rican. I'm like, girl. Then when I went to Kennedy High School, this is so fucking funny. There was this boy. I should have saved this story for last, but I forgot his real name was something like Tyrone or some shit like that. But I remember we was in class and the teacher called his name, like his first and last name, and he goes, "Ma'am, can you please call me Miguel Lopez?" Miguel Lopez is not his name. She was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "I would like to go by Miguel Lopez." And she was like, "But it says here, like, your paperwork and everything is Tyrone, whatever." He was like, "No, call me Miguel Lopez." He started telling, oh, by the way, he was GAY, but he started telling everybody he was Dominican. And one of his other friends was like, "You're not Dominican, you are black." And he was like, "Do you know my life? Do you know?" A matter of fact, that argument happened right after he told the teacher to call him Miguel Lopez. Somebody was like, "You need to stop." He was like, "Do you know my life? Do you know my life?" This kid spent the rest of his life telling people he was Dominican and his name was Miguel Lopez. He even used Miguel Lopez on Facebook. Okay. Then I had this other friend, right? Her name began with a B. She used to always say she was half Colombian. I knew her mother. Her mother was black. The girl was like around my complexion, maybe a little bit lighter. So she used to be like, my father's Colombian, whatever, whatever. She didn't stress it like the other girl I told you about that used to say she was half Puerto Rican, but she would always bring it up every now and then. Like, if you was her friend, you would hear about her being half Colombian at least every other month. She'll bring it up like, "I'm half Colombian, I'm half Colombian." Long story short, I think she like finally showed me a picture of her father. Matter of fact, no, I'm lying. I think I saw him in person or something, or both. And he was not Colombian. Like, I know that there are black Colombians and stuff. For example, Amara La Negra. She does not have to tell me she's Dominican. She doesn't have to tell me that. I could see her sitting across the room. I know my people. I'm also half Dominican, by the way. I know she's Dominican. Celia Cruz. She could have never been famous a day in her life. I know she's Cuban. If not Cuban, I just know she's Hispanic. Just like, for example, there was a Haitian guy that made a whole video on how to spot a Caribbean, African, or Hispanic person, how to spot a black, Caribbean, Hispanic from American black, right? I can do that. Right away, I know my people. If y'all remember Landon C restaurant that was on 230 whatever, there was a guy that used to always be in there. He was the color of this. As soon as I saw him, I knew he was Dominican, whatever. I remember somebody came in there and needed to they needed somebody who spoke Spanish, and I pointed to him, and my friend was like, "How did you know he spoke Spanish?" I'm like, "He looked Spanish. He looked Dominican to me." But the point is, her father was not dark skinned. Her father was like maybe a shade darker than me, and I'm looking like he's not Hispanic at all. Like, you think I'm a dummy? Like, I think sometimes people think since they're lighter skinned they could just lie and be like, "Oh, I'm this, I'm not." Like, there's no light skinned black people who are 100% black. Just because you're light skinned, it does not mean you're mixed. Then, just to let y'all know, y'all probably gonna figure out who this is right away. There's a rapper who's like E-list, maybe F-list. He has a Dominican flag on his neck, and he's been saying he's Dominican for years, and he's not. Him and his baby mother got into it one time, and she was like, "And you lie about being Dominican." She was like, "You're not Dominican." Somebody interviewed both his parents, and they were like, "We're Bayesian and black, like from Louisiana." First of all, Barbados is a very rich Caribbean country, so why would you want to be Dominican and not Bayesian? My son is actually half Bayesian, but anyway, a lot of the false claiming, it's nothing against anybody, but I'm always hearing people like talk about, these white people are culture vultures, these Hispanic people are culture vultures, but yeah, there's white people that would fake be a part of the black culture. Maybe there's Hispanics that would fake be a part of the black culture, but I know American black people that will lie and be like, "I'm Jamaican, I'm Dominican, I'm Puerto Rican," and wave that flag. Like, isn't that a culture vulture? Or am I like, what do y'all think?